Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to teach you about random numbers, that how we can generate random numbers in PHP. So to generate random numbers in PHP, a function used is rand followed by parenthesis, so this means that this is a function. So how we can use this random function in order to generate random function? So when we will use a random function without any argument, it will generate random numbers in between 0 and 767. Now I'm gonna write here a limit that this rand function without arguments will generate random number in between 0 to. So this is a limit for random numbers when we don't pass arguments. So when we will pass the two arguments to this random function, then this random function will generate a random number in between these two values. Now this will generate random numbers from 10 to 20, in between 10 to 20, and 10 and 20 values will also be included in the random numbers. And now I'm going to write a code to generate random numbers in PHP. So here is a variable named as random is equal to rand. Now I'm going to display this result on the web page by using echo statement. So here I'll write the name of this variable. Now I'm gonna save this file, open a web browser, refresh the page. So here is missing assignment operator. Now you can see that this is a value, and after every time we will refresh the page, the value will be randomly generated. In between 0 and 32,767. Now what happened when we will pass the two arguments as a limits to the random number generated? So here I'll pass 0 to 20. Now this function will generate random numbers in between 0 and 20. 0 and 20 will also be included in random numbers. Now I'm gonna save this file, open web browser, refresh the page. Here you can see that 0 to 20 random numbers are generated here. So these are the two ways to generate random numbers in PHP, to use a random function in PHP. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm gonna teach you that how we can generate random strings in PHP. To generate random string, I'm gonna declare here a string that will be a combination of alphanumeric characters. So I'm gonna write the name of this variable as character set or simple chart set is equals to. So I'll write here alphanumeric characters. For example, let's see that. So let's see that these are alphanumeric characters in this chart set string. Now I'll generate a random string from this alphanumeric characters or from this chart set string. So the random string will be like that. For example, this is a random string from this chart set. So I'll generate random string from this chart set. In this video I'll create two functions that will generate random strings in PHP. So the first function will be a random string function. So I'm going to write here a function that is named as random function, and inside this function I'll pass two arguments. So I'm going to write, so here, sorry, here is a spelling mistake. So I'm going to write here the first variable name that will be the string that will be passed to this function. So I'm going to write the name of this string to rand string, and the second variable will be the length of the string that will be generated randomly. So I'm going to write here another variable that is named as length. So these are two arguments that will be passed to this random function or random string. Sorry, here will be a string because this is a random string function. So I'm going to write here random string. Now inside the body of this function I'm going to write here, I'm going to declare another variable string that will store a string that will be generated randomly. So I'm going to write here the name of the string, that rand string. So this is another variable that will store random string. So this will be first initialized to empty, so I'm gonna use or initialize a white space to this string. Now after that I'll use here for loop. So this for loop will repeat through the length that will be passed to this function as argument. So I'm gonna write here another variable that, for example, let's say count is equal to 0, count less than the length that will be passed to this function. Now I'm gonna write here the name of the length variable, and after that I'll use increment operator to increment the value of this count variable by 1, and inside this function I'll use a rand string. So I'll use here rand string that will be initialized to another function that will named as rand char function. So I'm gonna write here another function name that is random char function. So I'll also define this function. So I'll define this random char function. So in this function I'll pass the string that will be passed to this function as argument. Now I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. So this is a different string and this is a different string. So this string will be a char set that will be passed to this function, and this string will contain the random string. Now I'll use here semicolon, and after this for loop I'll use a return statement to return this random string that will be generated. So I'm gonna copy it and paste it here. Now I'll define a function that will named as random char function. So I'm gonna write here function that is named as random char, and inside this I'll use a single variable that is named as string. Now inside this function first I'll find the length of this string by using strLength function. So I'm gonna declare here another variable that is named as length is equals to strLength function, and I'll pass this string to this function. String, and after that I'll find the random position of this character set. So I'll use here another variable that is named as position is equals to, and I'll assign the value to this position that will be generated randomly. So I'll use here a rand function, and inside this rand function I'll use here the limit from 0, comma, and here will be the length -1. So the purpose of length -1 will be that, for example, let's say that if the length of this string is 20, so the index number will be from 0 to 19. So for this purpose I'll write here the length -1. So after that I'll return the string. So I'm gonna write here a return statement, and inside this return statement I'll return the value that will be the particular value at this position in this array or string that will be passed to this function. Now I'm gonna write here string variable, the name of this string, and in the index I'll use this position. Now I'm gonna write here. So this is a complete function random char. Now after finding the length of this string I'll generate a random number. So that random number will be an index number that will be randomly generated. For example, if there is a randomly generated index number that is 10, so the position variable will be assigned a value 10, and then I'll return the character that will be a 10 index number. So this for loop will loop through the length times. For example, if I pass this length to 10, then this for loop will be executed for 10 times, and 10 times this random char function will be executed. So I'm gonna call this function here. Now I'll use this string that is a char set. Now I'm gonna paste it here. Now I'll call this function that is named as random string. So I'm gonna write here. So it will return a random string. So I'm gonna declare another variable random string here is equals to that. Now I'll call this function that is named as random string. So I'm gonna write here random string, that is the name of the function, and I'll pass this char set string to this function, and after that I'll pass the length of the string that will be randomly generated. So for example, if I want to generate a random string that will consist of 20 characters, so I'll write here 20. Now after that I'll use here echo statement to display the random number on the screen. So I'm gonna write here random string is, and after that I write here the name of the variable that is named as random string. Now I'm gonna save the file, refresh the page, So call to undefined random string function. So I'll check the name of the function. So here is a random string. Oh sorry, here is a spelling mistake, so I'm gonna correct this. So I'm gonna save the file, refresh the page. Here you can see that random string is m. So here is a string that is a 1 character long. So I'll check the error. Now open notepad++ to see that here is a random string function. The body of this for loop will be executed for 20 times. Oh sorry, here is a mistake that here I have to use a concatenation plus assignment operator. So I'm gonna save the file, again refresh the page. Here you can see that this string is 20 characters long. Now after every time refresh, you will see another random string. So hopefully guys, you have understood about generate random strings in PHP using rand function. So thanks for watching this tutorial. I'll see you in the next tutorial.